Okay, so it's now Sunday night. I think we're up to 8 or 9 days of this war. And to keep you updated for anybody that's interested still, so my husband was given an assignment on Thursday, I believe. He left more in the morning, and he was supposed to come home for Shabbos. That's what we thought. And then at 3:30 in the afternoon, he was told that he will not be released for Shabbos when Shabbos starts at 5:30. So he was in the army all Shabbos, and I was with my kids. And the truth is, it was a really, really nice Shabbos, just really tired. And he came home after Shabbos. But I want to go back to something that happened on Thursday night and try and see what you would do. Try and ask yourselves, what would you do in this kind of situation? My husband wasn't home. I was home with my children. And a close family member calls me up and says, please make sure to keep your blinds, windows, and doors locked because tomorrow there's supposed to be a day of rage in Yerushalayim, meaning all the Arabs were asked to literally get up and just, I would say act out, but that means to really just slaughter, kill any Jews that they can get their hands on. Now, these threats are not often heard of, but in a time like this, when you hear something like that, you take it pretty seriously. And I just sat on the couch Thursday and said, what am I supposed to do? Not let my kids out of the house, literally lock the doors? And in the end of the day, my kids did go out. The sun shined in the morning and they went to the park, and I was very blessed. But in the end of the day, this is a reality that you can't get used to. You can't get used to the idea of just walking on the streets and just know that a terrorist can just jump out behind a garbage can with a knife, with a gun, and just murder you in cold blood for no reason. You didn't do anything to them. We learned about anti-Semitism growing up. My grandparents were both Holocaust survivors on my mother's side. My grandmother, what we called Bubby, survived Auschwitz, the death march. They had crazy stories of how they survived. And you grew up learning what anti-Semitism is. When you live it, there's no real words to put into the feeling of just knowing that people want to kill you just because you're Jewish. And that's really what it is. And to recognize that and to just let it seep in, to understand that just by you being alive bothers so many people is a very big statement. And on Shabbos, we decided we're not talking at all about the news at all. We just made a really, really big effort to talk about Hashem and His greatness. And we had such a beautiful Shabbos with so much singing, and my children danced. It was really one of the best Shabbos ever. And obviously, I was trying my best that they shouldn't feel that their father was missing. And after Shabbos, he came home later, both exhausted, till our kids went to sleep to try and catch up. And he explained to me what it was like in the army on Shabbos, which was a totally different experience. He worked all through Shabbos till 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And he explained to me his assignment, which is extremely important. Maybe one day I will be able to share that. But I'm really proud of him. And he's just a cool, special guy. And for those of you that don't know, he was actually supposed to go out of the army and resign. And literally 6 weeks from now, he would have been done. But we'll see what happens now. So he was so close to being done. We waited so long for him to be resigned and done with the army, but we will see what happens. And then today, Sunday morning, I feel like there's so many things that bring back Corona because we're all at home with our children. There's no preschool, there's no school, there's no high school, there's nothing. And it's like on the outside, everything is the same. We've gotten used to hearing the helicopters and the airplanes. If I wake up during the night to nurse or whatever, and in the morning, if there's like real silence, I get nervous. And then I hear all of a sudden the booms again and the airplanes, and I'm like, okay, we're still there. It's become a reality. Even my son said to me today, he says to me, Ima, did you hear that boom? I'm like, yeah. He goes, we got used to it, right? It's like we don't even react anymore to all the boom. It's becoming a reality. I was supposed to be coaching basketball, and nothing been given permission to start anything. So I also see the teenage girls and the younger girls losing it. They're slowly like, we need to get out. We need to do stuff. And everybody's being sort of kept in. I mean, people are going out and going shopping where I live, but there's just so much of that feeling like we can't breathe. It's like just a very constant constant closure feeling. So I feel like there's so many comparisons to Corona because they started today with Zoom on the phone and on the computer. And I'm sure any parents that are watching this remember how much Zoom is so much fun. And in our house, there's no real quiet, that it wouldn't work anyway. We heard rumors that maybe on Tuesday they're going to start going back slowly. I know some places tomorrow are starting to go back slowly. But honestly, I don't know. I feel like we're just like, it's like when you're in labor and you just had a really bad contraction, a painful one, and now it's like you're able to breathe and everybody like puts their guard down and we're just waiting for the next contraction. That's what it feels like. It's like this waiting. And mitzad echad, like from one side, we're so like, let's get this over with. Let's just get this over with. And we believe that Mashiach is going to come for sure. We really do believe that this is the end. That's what gives us hope. That's what we believe. That's what we're excited about. But we just want to get it done with. Like, let's just go. Let's just get it done with, because we're all in the suspense of what's going to be the next stage. I have a brother that's stationed down south, so we hear from him once in a while. But it sounds like, things there are getting ready to go in. It's been raining here, so I know that the army doesn't want to go in when it's raining because in Gaza there's a lot of sand. So rain and sand makes mud for the tanks. They don't want them to get stuck. And in the meantime, the Air Force is doing a wonderful job. But you really see it on the news. You see how much hatred and you see how much evil there really is in the world. And that's the word. There's just evil. People that just want other people to be murdered and die. It's just evil. And the fact that people give it a place and people give it a bama, a place to share their thoughts and ideas is disgusting. But to talk about Am Yisrael, the Jewish people have been such a bright light since this whole horrible terrorist attack. It's unbelievable how much giving there's been. My son goes out every day on different projects, running around all over the place, packages and going to the hospital to make people happy and playing guitar and going to old age homes. And it's just the help that people have been giving. People knocked on my door Thursday, Friday with gift packages of cakes and kugels and drinks and candies and games. It's so unbelievable because in a situation when you're in distress and you're scared and you're sad, you could just stay in bed and be depressed. And that's a really logical place to be. And Am Yisrael is just the opposite. We're right now in this trying time and we're all rising to the occasion. We're all trying to bring each other's attitudes up and make each other happy and take care of each other. And it's just the unity is just unbelievable. It's unbelievable to live in Israel at this time. Anyway, my husband's back in the army. I actually came down to my car to have quiet because I know some of you are asking if everything's okay. I don't know how to answer that question if everything's okay. Physically, yes. We have everything that we need. Yes, we're okay. There is horrible news that goes on throughout the day. I'm trying to listen to as least news as possible because right now I can't affect that. But are we okay? I think that we just need to keep davening and keep being strong and united. I think that we need to realize that we can't just be united when there's bad stuff. We need to be united. And it's time for us to look for the nice, good pieces in each other. We become this generation where it's all about me, 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 me in the center. And we only see the bad faults about everybody else. And right now, our job, no matter how different we are from each other, is to find that one point that we could find that's just nice. A nice thing about somebody else and focus on bringing that out. And I really hope that the next video that I share, I will also have much more energy and get a good night's sleep. But I really hope that seriously, that we are after this long labor that Am Yisrael has been waiting for. And that we really have exciting, good news to share. So anyway, thank you all for caring, whoever's sending messages and checking up on me. I appreciate it. Have a good night.